So, Myron, you said we should remove women's right to vote because they're not part of the draft.
Yeah.
So, if we hypothetically either abolish the draft or made women subject to it, would you change your stance?
No, because physically inferior to men, it shouldn't be in war anyway.
Well, okay, but would you not agree that some women are physically
Oh, the
superior
one of
to
the ladies
some
back
men?
there said period? See? When it benefits them, they agree. They don't want to go to war. Somebody said period. They agree with me. All right, go ahead.
But would you not argue that some women are physically superior to some men? Some women are physically
Absolutely.
strong and some men are physically
Sure,
weak?
sure. But these are exceptions to the rule, right?
Well, so
The
why should
average-
they be excluded if they
like-
can meet the criteria?
Well, here's the thing. Now, this is what I'm a firm believer in. I think there needs to be one standard. If women could pass it, then sure. But I think in general, most women won't be able to pass it. And the other thing, too, is that keep in mind, guys, like when I say men are physically superior to women, I truly mean that. Like an average 15-year-old boy can 90% of 20-year-old women. Like that is how physically inferior. They literally are, everything about them is just inferior physically. Bone structure, muscle density, lung capacity, everything, right? High school boys like will play sports against like, collegiate and or professional women and smoke them. This isn't for me to be like, oh yeah, I hate women or whatever, but it's just the truth. It's the biological truth. So I don't think putting women in war is a good idea. And then the other thing too, and we could talk about this, the reality is when women are captured as prisoners of war, it's going to be a lot worse for them than for a man. And it's going to put a ridiculous amount of pressure on the United States to negotiate to get that prisoner of war out. This is precisely why they kill their citizens instead of negotiate, right, with the Hannibal Directive. So what ends up happening a lot of the times, if you get a female prisoner, the enemy knows that they could go ahead and negotiate for far more, and they have more leverage from a diplomatic sense, and creates a geopolitical nightmare for the country that is trying to get them back. This is exactly why it has the Hannibal Directive, where if Arab militia fighters are kidnapping people, they'd rather kill those people being kidnapped than allow them to get back into Gaza or to the West Bank or whatever, because it puts them in a very bad situation on their back foot geopolitically. So, I don't think, for the purposes of prisoner of war, also men have a natural instinct to protect women. This is why women couldn't join infantry for so long, because when they're in infantry, the men are going to compromise the unit or do stupid things to go ahead and compensate for that woman's lack of strength or capabilities or whatever it is. Now, I think in maybe some support roles, maybe women can be involved, right, if they pass the physical standards or whatever, but I would make it very hard where, the women need to be in the top 1 or 2% to be able to get in the first place. And if they do, it'd probably be from a support role, because I'm not a firm believer in weakening our military, for social justice. And that's what we've effectively done, right? Women want to feel like they're equal and involved. And it's like, no, dude, this is war. We need the best.
Well, okay, so that answers part A of the question, but part B, say we just abolish the draft altogether, right? We have a very strong, very large standing army. We haven't used a draft in decades. Would you then change your position? Also, follow-up question. You said a lot of women are not interested in the more high IQ parts of governing. Do you think that women are less intelligent than men?
No, we just have different interests. Women are just tend to be more interested in people. Men tend to be more interested in things. From an IQ perspective, men and women are very, very close, right? It's not much different. But most geniuses are men. But also most are men. So, we dominate both the good and bad side of the spectrum, but we tend to be in an average with women at the same level. But no, I think even if we abolish the draft, I wouldn't want the military, man. I just don't think it's a good idea. I think if they are in there, it's one standard and they'd be in support roles. I don't think they should be in active combat.
Sure, but I think the issue, and I don't want to take too much time. I know there's people waiting.
Sure.
I think the issue is you're supporting disenfranchising women of their right to have a say in government, which is going to make decisions upon what they can or cannot do based entirely on their eligibility for the draft. And I think that's more than a little bit extreme.
Well, that might be your opinion, but I don't think so. I think if you have skin in the game, then you should have a say. That's how it should go. So men and women aren't equal, right? So
what's up, brother?
What's up?
Love your stuff. Not here to debate, more just ask advice.
Sure.
Advice. So nowadays in dating, when it comes to boundaries, do you think it's better to find a girl that kind of fits your lifestyle and what you like to do? Or say you find a girl that's perfect in pretty much all areas, but she crosses like one of my boundaries that's like having guy friends or something like that. You think it's better to move to the next girl and find a girl that kind of brings peace to your life in all areas? Or some girls are great, they just don't understand a lot of aspects about dating that are beneficial to both parties. So just like, what are your
Yeah,
thoughts
no,
on that?
that's a great question, and that's actually a good one you just pointed. So when I said earlier, I was mentioning how like you need to kind of train your girlfriend to be the best girlfriend for you or wife. A lot of that means like deprogramming bad habits. So one of them is like keeping guy friends around, want to go out with her single friends, wanting to still party. A lot of the times women want to be able to have a secure relationship with you while simultaneously still doing all the things they used to do while they were single. They like to, I call it the double dip. And your job as the man is to come in and be like, okay, well, that's done now. This double dipping thing, like I get it when you were single, but now that you're with me, we're going to have some standards and boundaries here. And there's nothing wrong with it, right? I want guys to really understand. Look at yourself like a prestigious law firm. If someone wants to go ahead and join your law firm, they need to have certain grades, certain recommendations, certain skill sets, certain things. I think as a guy, if you're a prize, a catch, you should make women earn that, right? Because they're only going to value the job if they had to fight to get it. And I think as a man, that's one of the most important decisions you can make. So if a girl isn't completely following your lead and not acquiescing to your life, well, then I would say she probably isn't the one, man, because you're the leader. You're the guy that's going to need her to be on your program, not the other way around. This is why I'm so against guys that like move across the country for a woman's job. I'm like, what the hell? Like, dude, that's now she controls the frame. And what ends up happening when she controls the frame is she's inevitably going to lose attraction for you. So I think guys really need to understand this, that like once she controls the frame and she's a leader in a relationship, and you might not even know it overtly. Like it could be something as simple as you moving across the country for her because her job went to Seattle. You want to, but your job is mobile and you move for her. Like that's gonna in itself is bad, right? You uprooted your whole life for a woman. So I think it's better to get a woman that's going to acquiesce to you. And if she does have traits like that, what you mentioned, like having guy friends or whatever, I think it's important to like express those boundaries up front. And if she says no, then you know where she stands. She's kick her to the streets.
All right, sweet. Thank you, brother.
Yeah, yeah. But no, that's a problem that a lot of guys deal with, bro. So trust me. Yeah, I know exactly where you're coming from.